Hi, and welcome to Here with Laura. I'm your host, Laura Williams. I'm a designer, entrepreneur, and mom, and this is a space where real life and meaningful conversations meet. Today, I am joined by Sean Skellinger, co-owner with his beautiful wife, Diana, of Skelly Build, an Austin-based construction firm known for delivering really thoughtful, high-end homes and doing it in a way that feels organized, transparent, and genuinely collaborative. Sean and Diana have built an impressive business, but what I love most is how intentional they are about the process behind it, how teams operate, how projects run, and how to create a better experience for both clients and collaborators. We will talk about everything from his unconventional path into entrepreneurship to homeowners and, oops, sorry, I'm going to start that over because it got a little wonky there. I think I clicked the wrong button. I was trying to speed it up. Okay. We'll talk about everything from his unconventional path into entrepreneurship to what homeowners get wrong about renovations to how designers and builders can better work together. And honestly, there will be so much insight in this one. So let's get into it. Welcome to the show, Sean.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely.
Excited to be here.
I know. So fun. So you started Skelly Build when? How long ago? Or Diana started it without you?
Yep. So Diana started it in January 2017. And she, it was at the time, there weren't many women builders in Austin.
There honestly still aren't that many. There are a few, but
right.
Not many.
Not many.
Yeah.
And so back then, and today even, you have a women designer, women client typically making a lot of decisions. And so the women GC kind of was a natural fit. And so the market really responded well to her and what she was trying to do. And she's always focused on communication and organization. And so that really kind of grew the business from just her.
Well, and that's such a different way to look at construction from, I've worked with lots of different contractors and builders, and to have that communication is just like, thank you.
So her background is actually in PR and events.
Okay,
and so we met at UT. She got a PR degree here and went into events. And events are very similar to construction in that an event is massive project management. It's just in 4 hours, right? And so she was able to kind of take those skills that she had, which is communication, being very organized, and kind of transfer them into construction. And so her base has always been communication and organization. And so that's when she brought that to construction, that was different. Yeah. That was unique. And so clients responded well, designers responded well. And so that's
we love it.
What grew the business from her.
Yeah.
And then she got she got really busy. And then I jumped in because I came to one of her sites. It was in Travis Heights. It was a pretty big job for us then. And subs were asking her for money, which is natural, right?
Yeah, as they should.
As they should. And I was like, where are the records? My background is a little bit more diligent than hers.
Yeah.
And she was like, it's all right here. And I was like, okay, let's work on
That's
this.
so me too. It's like, oh no, it's this
and
much.
it's great.
Right. Yeah.
She's super smart, right? Yeah. And you can keep all that organization communication in your head. But once you get too busy,
it's impossible.
It's impossible. Yeah. And so I saw a need to just step in and help with the money in the beginning, just in terms of writing checks.
Love that.
Subs lose checks. They forget they cashed them. They come back and ask for money. And so there's a lot of diligence that can happen there to make sure
the record keeping.
Exactly. To make sure the money is safe. So that's how it started.
Okay. And then what is your level into it now?
Yep. So now I am the CEO and essentially the visionary of the company. Diana's on the management team. She is part of sales, business development. And then we have a third who's Josh Olson. He's our chief of operations.
Oh, okay, cool.
And so it's the three of us. I have more of the accounting, finance background. She's more of the sales, and he is more of the construction operations piece.
Okay.
And so that's the management today.
That's great because I feel like for Diana, the sales portion is why the business is successful from the beginning. People trust her. They like her. They want to sign on to work with her. And so if she's the one that's selling these projects, I can see how that could just keep soaring. But then you need the support if you're going to keep on bringing on more business.
Exactly. And so, we've had 4 kids in the last 6 years. Our oldest just turned 6.
Oh my gosh.
And so in those kids, right, she really had to step back. She found her purpose to be more at home than in the business. And so that kind of transitioned to me and Josh to be more running it. And, she focused on having all those kids.
Yeah.
And so we always knew that she would be back, but we knew we needed to continue growth, right?
Yeah.
Today we're an 8-figure construction company. We've always wanted to be a place where employees saw their future. And so we always pitched growth because if you have good employees, if you don't pitch growth,
you can grow. Yeah.
Yeah, you need to grow so that they see their future growing.
Mm-hmm.
And so back in 2019, 2018, we did actually bring on salespeople to support Diana in this family growth.
Yeah.
And so we do have a sales team. We do have a project management team.
You have to. I mean, your team's huge. How many people do you have on your team?
So we have 32 on staff, but that does include in-house.
Yeah.
We have a cabinet company we purchased. We have in-house carpenters.
Okay.
We have superintendents that live kind of on our big sites. And then we also have the PMs and the sales and management and admin and marketing. And
I mean, that's a lot of overhead, and it's really scary.
It can be, for sure.
But if you're running a tight ship, then it's,
yeah, and that's,
hopefully a little less.
Yeah, and we've got goals and strategies. And, we have a small projects division, this is its second year.
Okay.
So it does everything from just painting your house to a powder bath renovation.
Really?
Yep. So we don't have a minimum.
Okay.
So last year we closed 77 jobs. 48 of them were under $25,000.
Okay.
And so that's one division. It's got 3 people in it.
And that's quick to cycle through projects, which is probably refreshing and kind of nice sometimes when you have these 3-4 year long projects at times that are just like, all right, well, at least we completed these.
Yes.
That felt good.
So we do help real estate agents in that piece.
Yeah.
We do help owners who maybe aren't ready for their whole house renovation, but just want to do maybe
their bathroom.
Yeah. And so that division is called Skelly Renovations.
Okay.
And it handles, the smaller projects, the less complex, less overhead needing type jobs. Yeah.
So how did it, when you transitioned into working with Diana on this and helping to build the business, was that a difficult transition? I mean, my husband helps sometimes with my business development stuff. And I'm always like, yes, I'd love to hear your opinions, but also,
yes. So
get off my territory, man.
I agree. We're both passionate.
Hard.
We're both type A. We both have strong opinions.
Yeah.
And so at the beginning, when I came on, there were some clashing. And, ultimately our business is about communication and organization and providing that high level of service to the client and making it repeatable. And so that has always been our goal. And I think that we just had a little bit of disagreements on how we were going to execute that.
Sure.
And so in the beginning, we'd be in a room of 6 people and Diane and I would be, being like a couple does, it can get a little tense, a little heated. And everybody understood the situation.
Yeah.
But we had a good enough ability to separate the personal from the professional that it didn't affect the home life. And so still happily married.
Yeah.
Got a bunch of kids. So it all worked out.
I know. You guys have made kids since then.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. Yeah.
That's hard though. I mean, I'm going to be honest, finding that stopping point because sometimes, I mean, even on just like a Sunday, hey, let's just talk through a few things. It could get out of hand. You almost have to have boundaries like, hey, when we're at home, we don't talk about it. We talk about it only when we're in the office. Or do you guys have to have that sort of?
Yes. So 2 things. One, we found our lanes of where we're the best at. So that was part 1. Part 2 is definitely boundaries. I mean, now that we have all these kids, when we're at home, I
love how every time you say all these kids.
Well, we have 4 kids.
That's a lot of kids. I only have 2 and it feels like a lot.
We have a lot of kids.
Yeah.
And so when we're with all these kids, it can be, they're kids.
Well, and it's probably just chaos. Screaming,
it's organized.
Running.
I think our construction company is organized chaos.
Yeah.
Our home life is organized chaos.
Yeah.
It's all organized chaos.
Yeah.
So there's really no room at home because you got, they want to play with this. They need to get your attention for that. The demands of the home life. So since we've had all these kids, the home work got cut off. But before we had kids, absolutely. I mean, we went on vacations, when we did everything, it was about work. And so that was tough because, if you're not truly passionate and love what you do, that can be a burden to the relationship.
Yeah. Well, and it's hard enough to turn your brain off just when it's you alone. But if you aren't talking to your partner about it all the time because it's what's on their brain as well,
Right.
it's just a different animal. So kudos to you guys to figuring out what works. And
We used to our dates were movies because we couldn't talk.
Is that
Alamo
healthy?
Draft House. Alamo Draft House was like the spot. And it wasn't about not talking. It was just about
it
letting your
forces you not
brain
turn off.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm guilty of that. I talk
Yeah.
about this all the time
Yeah.
where like at night, I need to watch a show to turn my brain off,
Yeah.
or else I'm thinking about my to-do list, my things for tomorrow, and then I won't go to bed until
Yeah.
after midnight.
Mm-hmm.
And I tried at 8, so that's a big
Right.
difference in
I get it.
time of just not being able to turn your brain off.
That's
So
right.
no, I get it. I was teasing, but
And
yes.
construction's really hard. And so we need to be intentional on what we watch too, because with construction and with clients and employees and people, it just becomes a lot. And situations can be a lot at work. And so, we've always been intentional on our free time once we've got this team, because, we don't want to spend time creating more stress and different outside of work.
Yeah.
Right.
No,
So
absolutely.
our TV shows are typically funny. Our movies are typically funny.
Yeah.
Because
I
we
love
need that.
You need the release of just like,
Yes.
yeah.
Absolutely.
And just find some joy and laugh together when there's a lot of headaches during the day.
That's right.
Yeah. So talk to me about your team growth and how you knew when it was time to grow each team, how, and get as granular as you can because I'm interested.
Yeah, sure.
But
so we'll go back to 2018 when I joined. So, my beginning was about the money, right? And seeing how that was going to work. The best thing that I contributed to the company was actually getting a project management software. And I knew that we were working a lot, right? To our point, we were talking about it day and night. Diana had a specific way to execute her construction, and her estimates were a fixed price builder. That's very different. The way she wanted to communicate and be organized on her job site is different to traditional ways. So I knew that if we wanted a family, which we did, she always wanted 4 kids. Since I can remember, she wanted 4 kids. So I was worried about where the heck we were going to live and how are we going to work in, the work-life balance, right?
Yeah.
How are we going to do it? And so the project management software allowed us to take all of her processes out of her head, right? Earlier, she said it was all in her head with the money. Well, everything else was in her head. How she estimated, how she project managed, how she dealt with clients.
I really understand your wife a lot.
Yes. Yes. So we had to take it all out of her head. So my job became, let's get it out of her head and into a project management software.
Yeah.
So then we created these roles. We created the sales role. We created a material manager role because there were so many materials being ordered. We created the project management role in the very beginning. And so we essentially took those 3 roles and I had to get it out of her head and onto paper. Once we had it on the paper, we put it into Buildertrend. Once we put it onto Buildertrend, we could hire and we could train. And so that's really how we begun. And it started with Diana wanted to sell. So our first hire was an admin. After the admin, it was a project manager. And then once we had the project manager, we could sell more. So then we hired a salesperson. And then once they sold too much, we needed a project manager. And so it kind of naturally grew based on the demands and the work-life balance of our people too.
So let's talk about the training of your project managers because that's, you've got these multi-million-dollar projects and you're like, just hired a new project manager for this.
Yep. So, I've got a few theories on growth. One of them is most people ask, how am I going to grow? How am I going to take this company to the next level? And it's really who. Who is that person that's going to take this company to the next level? And that's theory 1. Theory 2 is about giving away trust, which you have to give away trust appropriately. And I always say you need to allow micro mistakes, but guardrail against macro mistakes.
Okay.
People learn when they make mistakes, but you have to protect from the macro. And to us, the macro was money. it was client communication and organization. And so our PM training was essentially shadowing Diana, or the expert PM that we had. And that process was about, you're going to watch, you're going to absorb, you're going to get confident, then we're going to switch places. And or the PM is going to observe you, and we're going to be there for you, right? And so it started with client meetings, right? I would lead the client meetings in the beginning, or Diana. They would be there. And then once they got confident, we'd switch, and we would talk less and they would talk more. Once they got confident, once the client got confident in their ability, we slowly would kind of back out of those project management jobs. The client just wanted to be communicated and wanted people to know the answers on their job and felt treated well.
Yes.
That high level service. And so once we felt like they had that feeling with this new project manager, then we were able to back off and kind of give them the role of the job. They still came to us. They still made those micro mistakes.
Yeah.
But that's them growing.
Learning. Yeah. I mean, and that's all a part of it. So then that's kind of your project management team.
Correct.
Tell me the other teams again.
Yeah.
What about your construction? I mean.
Yeah. So I'll kind of go back to the growth. So that's the PM. The sales, our salespeople, they do estimating and sales. So they're out there meeting with clients, architects, designers. They're doing the takeoffs. They're selling the projects. May
I interrupt you really fast? Okay, so something that I deal with sometimes is that clients are coming to me as the designer after they've already talked to their contractors.
Correct.
And they have, this is our budget. This is what they've given us, blah, blah, blah.
Sure.
It's not in line with what the level of design they want from us. And so we have to go back and forth. And I'm your advocate. I will go to these people. I'll talk to them and say, okay, where is this money going? Okay, I can take away from this to make sure that we hit that mark, and vice versa. Like, we can work together to figure it out. And I do that all day, every day. A lot of it is just trying to manipulate money and where and how. Now, with your fixed price model, how does that work with, that process?
So
and also, just as a recommendation, go to the designer first, maybe. And then once you figure out a design concept, or at the same time.
So we'll walk through, how we work with outside designers and architects, because we're build only, right? We have no design in-house. So if we get a client, from the website or online or however that may be, we have an initial conversation with them, our sales team does, about, what's their scope, right? And we will actually provide a very rough low and high on what that could be.
Oh, good.
And and we are very clear that does not include design. And so that low and that high, really, the project needs to fall in it. So it can be a very large range based on what they're talking about. And what that does is that helps our sales team, are these clients serious about construction? Because obviously homeowners don't understand construction costs. And we're also clear that that doesn't include the design fee. And so once they're comfortable with that, we will actually refer them to a designer or an architect based on the job. But we also want to be involved, and we have a very diligent pre-construction process. Since we are a fixed price builder, pre-construction is very important to us.
Yeah.
Right? And our goal of pre-construction...
If it's not right, you're in trouble.
Yes. And our goal of pre-construction is to navigate the design to the budget. That's all we're doing that whole time. So we're not giving input on design. We're not doing anything in terms of design. But every time, DDs, SDs, CDs come out, we're going through the quote. And we're making sure that the numbers are still on track.
If you want every single window arch now, we're in trouble.
That's right. That's right. And we're providing VE options, exactly, to make sure that we're navigating that price. And so that's how, for us to be successful, we need to be a team. And the team is the builder, the designer, architect, the client, the subs. We are all connected and relying on each other to do a great project. And our most successful projects are because it was a great team. There was trust. There was execution that was part of trust. We can communicate. We're organized together. We're not sure, back in the day, we would get a plan set and they're like, our budget was X, and we told designer architect it was X, and we got it, and it was like twice as much. And that's really tough because they spent money on that. And so
Sure.
we learned early on that we've got to work with the designers and with the architects to make sure that clients are getting something that is in their budget.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, you want your clients to be happy. And,
Absolutely.
their referral means so much as well. So if they're leaving with a bad taste in their mouth, then something wasn't done right. And whether it's from the beginning with the budgeting or in the end when they're like, well, just paid that final extra bill.
Right. And our tagline is caring for people and their spaces. And I feel like care is missed in a lot of GCs. So that's why we are a fixed price builder. That's why we want to communicate and be organized more than anybody else in town, because that level of service defines care to our clients. We look at it as, if we were a client, what would we want? We'd want another price.
Yeah.
We'd want another price.
With anything you're doing in life, if I'm flying to Rome, I don't want to suddenly get a surcharge.
Exactly. Because
Out of the
fuel
blue.
went up.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, well, I bought these tickets a year and a half ago, so
Right. Seriously.
joke's on you.
That's
Sorry.
right. And we lose a lot of jobs to T&M and cost plus, and that's
Mhm.
because it's an estimate.
Yeah.
And you're agreeing to some markup, and it will be what it will be.
Yeah.
Whereas we're willing to do the diligence in the beginning to make sure that, what our price is and what they want to execute is in line.
Yeah.
And that's how.
Do you have a figure in your head of what your rate is of signing versus all the jobs that you give bids on?
Yeah. So
I'm just solely curious because I know
Yeah.
how much time and effort goes
Uh-huh.
into your bids.
Mhm.
It's lengthier than mine because it just is. There's more that goes into what you're doing.
Right.
And so I'm just curious because it takes weeks sometimes
Yeah.
to get a final number from people on how much it will cost to build this out. And how much does that stink that you spent hours and hours and hours building this out and then you don't win the job?
Yep. So we have about a 90% sales rate once they're in pre-construction.
Okay.
So
So that doesn't count like your soft.
we charge a fee for pre-construction.
Okay.
So our fee for pre-construction is $12,000 to $70,000, depending on how big the job is going to be and how much time it's going to take to create those CDs. So once we get that pre-construction agreement together, there's a 90% chance we are going to win that job.
Yeah.
And so that is really.
Well, they're serious because they already
Correct.
put money into the bucket.
And again, when you meet with us and our team, it is a different level of experience. Our marketing is a different level, our communication. We don't wait for subs to give us their bids because we have pricing from all of them.
Yeah.
So we turn our bids around quickly,
I love that.
like
Yeah.
within 7 to 10 days. And that's a full fixed price bid that we will sign a contract for. And so that level of diligence and communication and turnaround is typically very impressive to a client that wants to work with us.
Absolutely.
We're also going to be 5-10% higher than these estimates that they get, but it is a fixed number.
Yeah.
And we know
No
that.
surprises.
Yeah, exactly. And they knew that. Our best clients are someone who have been through a renovation and they chose the cheap option the first time.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
They're looking for value, they're looking for communication, they're looking for organization, because that's really what you don't get when you have that.
Yeah.
Typical, cheaper construction company.
Yeah. So do you prefer renovations over new builds or vice versa?
You know,
Is it possible
renovations
to even
are
say
harder.
that? Yeah.
They're harder. Like, there's no doubt. They are harder. We are known for renovations. And so I like renovations because they're a challenge. And in this market,
You never know what you're going to find behind the wall.
you never know. And, people in Austin are, we work with a lot of families in transitions. People are having kids, or maybe their kids are leaving town, and so they want to transition their house in some way. And so renovations tend to be our bread and butter. And so I would say they're harder, but that's what we're known for.
Yeah.
But we'll take new builds too.
Yeah. No, that's great. Okay, so then back to, where Diana fits into the puzzle now. When
Mhm.
she came back and was
Mhm.
a little bit more full force,
Yep.
was she like, "All right, let's go," or were you having a hard time loosening, the reins in the other areas? Because just as hard as it was for you to transition in
Right.
when you did, I'm sure her transitioning back in to be more full time was probably
She
maybe just as hard.
she very much trusts Josh and myself, management team.
Yeah.
And she knows what's going on constantly. She's always invited to the management meetings. It's an open meeting with her. So really her coming back in is always great to have her opinion and her insights. Having a different perspective is always good. More heads are better than less. But her coming back in wasn't, changing everything that we're doing. It was more realigning a couple things to make sure that we're all on the same page.
Yeah.
So her coming back in was not too challenging, and nothing broke when she
Whew.
came back.
Yeah. That's good.
Yeah.
Um, so you mentioned to me prior to this conversation that you're really excited about utilization of AI and what
Yep.
you're doing right now.
Mhm.
Talk to me about how you use it as a tool.
Mhm.
I mean, AI is my best friend. I
Yeah.
use it to my fullest capability. And luckily, I've got an amazing, nerdy husband who
Yes.
teaches me
That's awesome.
like the best ways to utilize it.
Mhm.
So that helps where, because it's fun for him to research. He's building me tools all the time. I'm
That's
like,
great.
gosh, you're amazing.
Yes.
But how do you utilize AI?
So me and Josh, our COO, we went to IBS this year, and we've gone for a number of years in a row. And this year was in Orlando, and we always go to the AI talks.
It's my stomping grounds. I'm from Orlando.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Fun
Well,
fact.
Orlando Convention Center, we were there in February.
Yep.
Very
It's a mess.
it
It's
was
busy.
it was busy. Yeah.
Big. Yeah.
It was very big. This was the first year that they had demonstrations of construction companies actually using AI.
Cool.
Super
Okay.
cool. And so we came back really excited about AI.
Awesome.
And so we have created a crawl, walk, run plan of AI where Josh and I spend 2 hours a week working on a system. And so we're working on things that aren't as, client touching right now. But we're building out a phone answering service. We're building out we'd really like to put something on our website that a client can go to and they choose kitchen remodel, and it kind of gives them the ranges that they'd get that our people would say anyways. So that's one thing we're building out.
It's instant gratification where they can automatically eliminate themselves if it's out of their budget
Yeah.
or,
If it's not a good
doesn't make
fit,
sense.
yeah.
Yeah.
If it doesn't make sense, if they don't want to commit, then
Mhm.
that's great.
Yeah. And it doesn't take the time of your team
Exactly.
when they could be working on other things. Yeah.
Exactly. We're also working on, that's kind of our crawl. Our walk is really focusing on pre-construction, right? I mean, we have 360 jobs in Builder Trend. That's a lot of data. That's a lot of plan sets. That's a lot of sub prices. There's a lot of value that we can help our estimators out to turn
Without
those.
having to manually sort through.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm. Exactly. What I've learned about AI is that it's not going to get rid of anyone's job, in my opinion, but it's going to help the same people do their jobs better.
More effectively.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Exactly. What are our other goals for this year? A lot of administrative tasks on the finance side where it's manual entry between two systems. We've kind of integrated those. Expense reports, Mile IQs, things like that. We have these chatbots now that can just do it.
Yeah.
So we spend a
just
lot of time.
analyzing data is incredible. And
absolutely.
it's like, what are some things that you foresee based on these trends that
Mhm.
would make a larger impact for our bottom line?
Right. In
And it's like
time.
a list of 10 things. I'm like, great idea. Thanks,
Yep.
robot.
That's right. And time is a big one. I mean, ChatGPT
Yeah.
is used all the time in our company too.
Yeah.
For like some of our messaging.
Elevating your communication.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And some of these guys on the field, that's just not their strength. And so it really helps them, create a better dialogue for the clients.
Yeah.
And so we teach
and
them
I'm
to use
seeing
that.
it from clients. I'm getting messages.
Oh my
I'm
gosh,
like,
I
that
know.
is absolutely from ChatGPT.
I know.
But I appreciate it because they're being thoughtful about what they're communicating to me
Right.
and not just like slopping
The
out a
emojis,
mess.
the emojis on ChatGPT and the dashes. Like, who uses dashes?
The double dashes.
Oh my gosh.
No, it's like at
that's
least erase
That's a
those.
telltale sign that this is a ChatGPT. But so we're very passionate about it. I'll tell you one thing that we saw at IBS that was super cool. So there was a builder who got up on stage and he said, on all our job sites, we have cameras, regular cameras. And there was an AI agentic voice bot that was trained to look through those cameras and look at the tools that the subs were using. And it knew which subs were on site and which subs were not on site.
Oh, interesting.
So every morning at 9 a.m., it called the PM and it told him who was there and who was not there.
How much time does that save?
Exactly.
Yeah.
It saves time. It speeds the job up. The PM can then call the sub and be like, what the heck? You're not there? Or great, you're there. Do you have any questions? So that was a very amazing eye-opening.
Yeah.
To the creativity of AI and how it can help our team be more efficient.
Yeah. And I think that's the biggest thing is the efficiency it adds all over in every single, spectrum of the business. It just does. It's just the way it is. And that's super cool that those tools exist.
Yeah. Another really cool tool is Gamma. Gamma is like a presentation software that really helps with, if we do team meetings and we do lunch and learns to our team or to other people. I just presented at NARI National about, how to scale your business essentially. And Gamma is a really nice tool to help beautify your presentation.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And so if you're into presentations, that's a great software to look at.
That's awesome.
And then another thing is, with these, we've got 32 people. It's a big company. We've got a lot of transactions. And so we have Gemini. Gemini, what I like about Gemini is that it's part of Google, which is part of Workspace. So it's closed system. And Gemini will only work through your cloud.
Right.
It's not open to the public like ChatGPT. And so you can give it more sensitive data if you keep that sensitive data in your Google Drive.
Yeah.
And so we'll put bank transactions up there and make sure that we're not overspending on
that's great
administrative things, multiple subscriptions to the same product, paying for anything twice. So it helps with all that data.
All that. Yeah. Do you ever play with Claude?
You know what? I have not played with Claude.
I say play with.
No, yeah, really, but it's
all a learning. Every single tool that becomes available, it's pretty awesome what it can do.
It is, and I know Claude is really good for certain things. R2 is really Gemini since we're a Google workspace platform company. Gemini and then ChatGPT, but I know Claude, as we start doing these bigger agentic models for specifically estimating, we'll use Claude to do that. That seems to be the research is what it's telling us.
Yes. Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Super cool.
Yeah.
So do you have any projects you're working on right now that you're really excited about? Any homes or any?
Yeah.
Do you guys ever dabble in commercial or is it all?
Yeah, we do actually.
Okay.
So you asked about commercial. Downtown, there is a condo called the Malago. The Malago is it's a 15-story building. It's not like a super big tower. It's on Rainy. And
15 is pretty big.
Yeah, no, it is big, but it's not like 70.
Yeah.
Or 50. We're actually doing all of their common spaces.
Oh, cool. That's awesome.
So it's a big project where we're kind of redoing, Rainy obviously has changed in the last 10 years.
Yeah.
So is Austin. But Rainy specifically. And so the Malago is trying to kind of elevate and capture that growth.
I feel like just in the last 2-3 years, Rainy has been trying to rebuild itself because it went totally away from the Rainy that I knew when we moved here.
It looks totally different now. It's crazy.
Yeah.
So that's a cool job. Another job we have that's pretty unique is it's on Lake Austin. It's actually it was 2 3-story townhouses on one slab.
Oh,
that
that's
the
fun.
owner owns both of them.
Uh-huh.
And so we're combining it into one residence.
Cool.
Yeah. So
That's
that's
awesome.
a pretty cool, unique project. We're finishing a new build on the lake, 7,500 square feet. It's actually our fourth job with that family.
Great. That's a good family to be working with.
It's a great family to be working with.
That's awesome.
And so we're very proud of the
The fact that they came
relationship.
back so many times, that's a testament.
We did a penthouse for them in like 2019. We did this is the third lake house we've done. This is being the biggest and being more of a new build. So we're very fortunate.
Do you find different areas of Austin being more difficult to work on projects in?
I would say that when you get outside of Austin and you're no longer in the city sewer system and you need to start relying on septics,
Yeah.
that's where to us it gets harder because the septic rules, you have so much more from an environmental standpoint. Permitting takes longer, the project takes longer. And so that would be kind of ETJ, Lost Creek annex from the city of Austin. So no, they're all through the ETJ. So from a construction standpoint, as long as it's not on the side of a hill,
Yeah.
which can be done,
Yeah.
right?
But just a little bit more work,
A little
labor
bit more
intensive.
work.
Yeah.
Exactly. We see that just getting through the permitting and
Mhm.
the sewer specifically really kind of slows down our process.
Do you have certain zip codes that you guys only work in? Because I've spoken with builders before and they're like, oh, I only work in 78756 or whatever.
Yes, our go-to is Austin, BKs, Westlake, Spanish Oaks, Driftwood. Those are kind of the 5 or 6
You ever go to
that
Spicewood?
we typically don't do Spicewood.
Mhm.
Um, we just have not been asked.
Yeah. But you would. It doesn't seem too far. Yeah. I've I've spoken to some people and they're like, well, if it's not in one of these little, just because of where their crews are coming
Sure.
from, they're like, it just will be a logistical nightmare to not be in this specific area or this specific area. Is that something that you guys have run into at all? Or do you tailor which teams you bring to certain jobs based on their location?
I would say it's really starts with the client. Like we need a trusting client. Do you prefer a high level of service in your life, right? If the answer is yes, we will love to work with you regardless of where you live.
Yeah.
Our subs live everywhere. And I think subs are actually getting pushed more out of the city. And so they're coming from Hutto and they're coming from, Kyle and Buda and
Yeah.
New Braunfels. And so I tend to think that they're happy for the work, frankly, and they'll drive to wherever they need to drive. So we're more focused on the client and making sure that they're a great fit, they're trusting, and they want a higher level of service. They got to pay for it, of
Yeah.
course.
Talk to me about your subs, and I'm sure there's
Yep.
quite a bit of turnover with ones that you're willing to work with still after a big mistake is made or their willingness to come back to the job if that's ever an issue.
Yeah.
How does that transpire? And also, can you trust them on these big $1 million
Yeah.
projects?
So, with every construction company, it has been a sub journey,
Mhm.
right? We do pay our subs weekly, which is pretty abnormal.
Mhm.
And so we do have a lot of loyalty
Yeah.
from them. I know that some of our subs we've been working for 8, 7 years. And so there's a lot of respect. They know what to expect from us. We know what to expect from them. But mistakes happen. And
Sure.
so we've got to work through it together. And we're always solution oriented with our clients, with our subs, with our team, because it doesn't do any good job to come with just a problem. And I would say that Josh, our COO, his background is a trade. So
Okay.
he's done custom cabinetry, he's done tape and float, he's done just about every trade you need to. And so his perspective is always from the trades, which is very helpful.
Absolutely.
In a lot of situations.
It's insight that you don't naturally have.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so he always brings a different perspective of, hey, this is what this is what motivates them. This is what they need. This is what discourages them. And so that's really helpful for us, our PMs, our sales team. We can't ask them for too many bids without giving them a job. Things like etiquette in the sub world is something that he has brought to us. And I think that's helped strengthen our relationship. But things happen.
Yeah.
And we know that if it's a great owner, we may take that mistake out of his check for the next year, right? Slowly. So it's not as painful for him, but that's a solution that we'll come to and we'll agree. Yeah. But everybody needs to be accountable for their work and their actions. So.
Yeah. Well, I think that's really gracious that you're willing to do that versus
yeah.
Sorry, that's it. But people make mistakes and it happens. Don't do it again. If it happens again, okay, we can't work together anymore.
Exactly.
Yeah. And that makes sense.
And that seems to be, we did have bad subs, back in the beginning where we kept eating the costs of, Dinah tells stories about having to redo tile and just redo tile and redo tile because she didn't like it. Sub wasn't doing a good job. And she just kept paying for it because it, at the time it's her name and the company's name on the line, and she wanted to make sure that the client was happy and the level of quality was really high. And so we did go through that
I've paid
phase.
for that before
for
on
sure.
my side, and I'm like,
as a designer,
yeah, because it's just like I just want my client to be happy. We don't have time for the headache. I will cover this cost.
That's very nice of you.
I don't. It's not something I want to do.
No, I know, but
it's just,
I don't think we've ever.
But it's just a situation where, you just need it to be resolved and there's no time for any more headache. It's like, I'm just going to solve this. It's going to hurt my wallet for a minute, but we'll recover and we'll make it back somewhere, somehow, you just figure it out.
Yeah, I agree. And it's part of business. I have a thing called the dumb tax, and you got to pay the dumb tax when you're learning and you're growing and you make mistakes.
Yeah. Yeah. You mentioned that you guys absorbed a cabinet company.
Yes.
So talk to me about that briefly.
Okay.
I'm curious, how that shifted your business, and then also, what value that adds from a client perspective versus somebody who does not have an in-house client maker.
So
or cabinet maker.
I got it. We were approached in June of 2024 to buy this custom cabinetry shop, a local builder. And
had you worked with him previously?
No, but he's worked on some very high-level homes with some outstanding architects. So we knew this cabinet company knew what they were doing. Yeah. And I think they were on some AIA tours, like the actual work. So very high-level cabinetry shop.
Yeah.
And, he really wanted to get out. So it was a really great transaction for both sides. It became a struggle like any new business. And it was because they were a T&M, time and material shop, and we're a fixed price builder through and through.
Yeah.
And so we thought we could teach them fixed price. We thought we could get them to meet deadlines and make decisions, and that really wasn't the case. And so we've actually, in the last January of this year would be, we've essentially turned over the whole shop to our new people with fixed price mindsets. And so I didn't know that there was an actual mindset difference. Mm-hmm. There's an actual mindset difference of, they're getting paid for their literally thinking and mistakes, whereas a fixed price, this is what it's cost. That's all we're going to get.
Yeah.
So we need to make quality and we need to make it on time.
Yeah.
And so that's a different mentality.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was the struggle. But the great piece of it is that we have an in-house custom cabinetry shop, and it's a great tool. We clients walk it and they love it, and the guys are all super nice and friendly. They do great work. They spend a lot of time in our client's house, so we're happy to expose them because they're going to be in their house during the renovations.
Yeah.
And so that's become a very positive purchase and something that differentiates us. And again, it adds to that high level of service because we are no longer waiting on someone who's telling us the wrong timelines. We know exactly when they're going to be done.
Oh, now I'm 9 weeks out, even though I told you 5 to 7.
That's right.
Yeah.
So there's no one's fault besides ours. So we really appreciate that control. We can control the production. We can control the cost as best as we can. But that's been a big game changer to just what we can offer.
Yeah. No, that makes complete sense. I think being able to control as much as you can in the process probably gives you a big sigh of relief because you've got it all lined up and, people just need to deliver. And if they're going to get paid, they'll deliver.
Yes, exactly. They'll deliver, and
if they want to keep their jobs, no.
I mean, same thing with the sub too, though, right? I mean, everybody wants their craft to be the best it can be. And, partly
hopefully, those are the people you want working with you.
That's right. But we do have to monitor, like anything, the budget to the product.
Sure.
Right? We can't put, we talk in cars a lot. We can't put Ferraris in Mercedes homes, like Mercedes budgets. Like we can't. We can if you want to pay for it, but if you don't want to pay for it, that's fine.
Yeah.
We have to be flexible. And so we have the ability to kind of flex between different qualities based on the production, the
I
timeline.
also talk about with renovations, how much should you put into a home with what it's worth in its location, in its neighborhood, how much you purchased it at. If you want to sell it in 5 years, is this going to make sense for you financially with what money you're putting into it? Yes. Okay, great. It's going to bring you joy. Go for it. Love that. But also, does this make sense for you to do this level of effort when you could do the 90% level of instead, and then you come out a winner?
Yeah, and we really we obviously try to get to budget, but there are other questions to get to budget, like how long have you lived here? Do you have family nearby? We see you have new kids. Like, how do you go on date nights? Like, if they have family look really close, if they see this as their 20-year home or 30-year home, they're typically more into spending the kind of money that could get you a really nice product. Now, if they see this as a temporary house and they don't like the schools and so they want to move in the next 5 years when their kid gets to be X, obviously we're not going to pursue such high-end
it wouldn't make sense for their project.
And for their timeline.
Yeah.
And so we're conscious, our sales team is conscious about what their story is and what are they going to gain.
I like that question of having family nearby. I have a questionnaire that I go through with my clients too, and I don't ask that one, but I'm going to add it because I think it makes a difference.
It does. If you've got grandma and grandpa nearby, I mean, that seems like a longer solution than if one's in Dallas and one's in New Mexico. Especially in Austin, there's so many kids, right? So many families in transitions. And so we feel like the more information we can get about this house being their long-term solution, whether it's because they love the schools or because grandma and grandpa are nearby, can help us get a sense of, is this customer right for us? We don't really want to work with investors, frankly.
Yeah.
Like, we want to work with people who love their home and who see them staying in this for, a lot of people won't say forever, but 20 plus years, right?
Yeah. Forever sounds scary.
Yeah, it does. Exactly. So we won't go to forever.
Yeah.
But we want that type of love and care in their house, and that's what we're going to give it.
Yeah. No, I think that's awesome. Sean, this has been a great conversation.
Yeah,
is there anything else you want to touch on today?
I feel like you've gotten the whole spectrum.
I know. Next time I need to have Diana here.
Oh,
and then
I'll
get her side of
the
amazing. Of the scoop. I know.
She's the better half.
I mean, I wasn't going to say it, but well, thank you so much.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
All of our listeners, you can follow them on skellybuild.com, at skellybuild on Instagram. Is there anything else? Are you guys on any other social platforms?
Yeah, we're on all the social platforms, but that's typically
at Skelly Build.
Yeah, that's typically where you're going to find us.
Awesome. Well, thank you. And thank you for spending a little time here with Laura. If you enjoyed today's conversation, I'd love it if you'd subscribe, leave a review, or share the episode with a friend. It helps more than you know. And you can find more about me, today's wonderful guests, and everything we talked about in the show notes. And until next time, take care of yourself and don't forget to make time and space for what really matters.